Hi guys, this is the Audiofool, and for today, we're going to review the Revel M126Be speakers. What I like the most about the Revel M126Be is the sublime highs, really smooth and super clear without being fatiguing. Mids are similarly textured, and the bass is tight with just enough volume. It's totally resolving, yet very engaging and fun to listen to. And you should hear the guitar notes, so good. Lots of details in between the notes. And it's also very easy to drive. It doesn't dip below 4 ohms, so any 4 ohm capable amp should be able to maximize its potential. What I don't like about the Revel M126Be is that you're spending $4,000 and something is missing. What? 41 Hz. Where's my 41 Hz? I know it's a bookshelf, but the special 40s could easily do 41 Hz. Heck, even the Monitor Audio Bronze 100s can do it. And in the UK, it's priced at £4,000. At that price level, I'd probably be better off buying something else. And the BE tweeters are fantastic, but could potentially be poisonous. But I'm sure audio bad boys like us want a little danger in our lives, don't we? Or not, subjectively speaking, I still find the ATC mids to be slightly better, but it's not that much better, and I'm still having as much fun, so I've been audio fooled. Still not the perfect speaker, but I'll take it. If you want to know more details about the comparison, please keep on watching. Here you have the Revel M126Be, a good looking and well built speaker, this one in silver, and if you look closely, it sort of looks like it has glitters. But the real gem is the 1-inch Beryllium dome, which is one of the best treble I've heard, even if I'm a bit partial to soft dome. You have a fancy ceramic coated waveguide as well, and below, you have a 6.5-inch ceramic coated aluminum woofer. Frequency response not too shabby for the size, as it goes down to 46 Hz 6 dB, but a bit disappointing that it doesn't go down further for the entry price. Up top, we have a curved cover. I don't know what it's for, but I bet it's to prevent people from putting their cups and glasses on. It's tapered and goes narrower, and at the back has a 2-inch port and a pair of binding posts. First, we compare to the KEF LS50s using the Shit Ager and Yggdrasil, and as expected of a speaker 3 times the price, the Revel dominates in my test tracks, and I preferred listening to the Revels all the time. Highly resolving while still being more fun to listen to, whether rock, electronica, jazz, acoustics, or orchestra, the Revel wins it hands down. In terms of bass, the Revel cannot do the last note in Trials of the Past with the same volume as the previous notes, but it does a bit lower than LS50s. Control is also much better in the Revel, and you have tight textured lines that go deeper. I wouldn't call the Revels as being lean in the mids, but mids are a bit richer in the LS50s. Attack and decay in the Revels are more detailed, however, and for me, more than makes up for the thicker, more forward mids of the LS50s. For the highs, both seem to be equally as bright, though there's quite a lot more refinement in the Revel that makes it extremely clearer and sharper and yet less fatiguing. In terms of soundstage, the LS50s have more forward vocals which lend to a little bit of depth, but background is flat, and the Revels have them spread out much more, having a better 3D image of the stage. Instruments and sounds are so much more delineated, and you can feel a lot more space in between. The Revels are so much more silent as well. The KEF LS50s are fantastic speakers and definitely deserve their place as one of the iconic speakers of the last decade. But up against the Revel M126Be's, it's not a fair comparison at all. Well, you are spending much more. And I wouldn't say you'd be even getting 2 times the performance, but they're still much better, and if you have the budget, I'd easily recommend going for the Revel M126Be's. The bass will not be the deepest, but it still fares better than the LS50s, and you have a barrel full more of details, not only in the bass, not only in the highs, but also in the mids. It's totally resolving, and most of all, it's a more fun and engaging listen for me. Next up, We compare to the ATC SCM19s using the shit Yggdrasil and the 227-watt Purify amplifier. The ATCs are currently my favorite speakers, so it came as a surprise that I preferred it in only one track out of 5. Norah Jones with vocals and piano notes gave it the win. Though if I were more privy to guitar, I'd probably have given this to the Revels. So it goes, ATC for piano trios and vocal-centric songs, and probably for orchestra with the piano at the centerpiece, and everything else to the Revel. In terms of bass, the Revels easily go lower, deeper, and louder than the ATCs despite its smaller size and lighter weight. The ATCs do sound slightly more accurate and tighter and have more textures in the higher frequencies. But on the other hand, more powerful pressurizing bass is so much more fun. Going to the mids, the ATCs take it away this time, having a richer, creamier, more forward mids, and all the while having a little bit more microdynamics and details. Not so much more, but still there and noticeable if you're into such things. Then the Revel sweeps it back again in the highs, having a slightly brighter disposition, with the level of refinement and clarity a bit higher as well. The soundstage provided by the ATCs have that intimate feel like a recording studio, and the depth stretches out a bit more than the Revels. The Revels, on the other hand, isn't that intimate, slightly flatter, though slightly wider too. There's a bit more space between instruments in the Revel, a little bit more outline, but the ATC is more silent and have blacker backgrounds. I'm more of a mid-range guy, so I expected this to be an easy decision, but it wasn't. The ATCs had more subtle details in the mids, and the Revels, they were almost as good. The Revels were similarly better in the treble, but the ATCs weren't that far behind. Piano notes I preferred listening to in the ATCs, while guitar notes I preferred listening to in Revel. Honestly, I could go either way, so I just get whichever is cheaper. And in the US, the Revel is much cheaper than the ATCs, and in the UK, the ATCs are almost half the price of the Revel, so I guess it's not a hard decision after all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, just write them down below. See you in the next video.